Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. We had a little bit of technical difficulties today. I hope you can hear me okay. We're using a different mic. So welcome to this beautiful day. Wow. It's just always wow. There's so much happening. There's so much moving. There's just the beauty of our planet Earth right now, and the weather is spectacular. It's cooler than quote unquote normal, which is perfect for me. And I can just feel this brilliance everywhere. Brilliance of life and abundance and joy and laughter and all of it. And I'm just always loving the flowers that we have with us behind us for these broadcasts. They're just like all these little faces, all these little beings smiling in the background. So welcome. There's a freshness in the air here on planet Earth. I used to travel out into the universe, especially during when Robert and Simeon were broadcasting with us often. And for whatever reason, doesn't matter, there's no reason, I'm been very very much here with planet Earth these last couple of months, maybe. I've always been connected to this beautiful earth and nature, but there's something different going on. I think since this weather shift, I've been asking for rain for so long. It's been over 10 years since we've really had a decent amount of rain for a season. And it's come. And the fact that it's not been too hot yet, it usually just jumps right into the heat of summer so quickly, but it hasn't this year. So there's a lot happening because the life is bubbling, and just like never before since I've been here in Santa Barbara for a little over 10 years now. There's a support. Actually, it goes both ways. I'm bringing in the trees again, in particular right now. There's a support system there, and they support us, and in turn we support them way more than what we're taught by science. It's deep. It spreads out. It can go for distance is no option, is no object. How far you are from a tree, it can still be with you and support you. I often connect with the trees up at Lake Tahoe. They're very ancient. The ones at the Emerald Bay State Park are the ones that I'm very connected to. They're old. They're powerful. And all I have to do is think of one, and it's immediately with me. And that's the beauty about trees and humanity. They're always with us. They're always supporting us. And if I am driving through a particular area where I suddenly feel like the trees may need some attention of their own, I will send my energy into the trees. I have so many memories as a child going hiking on Mount Tamalpais, or Mount Tam as we called it, in the San Francisco Bay Area, usually with my mother, and we would go on these long day hikes, often end up walking by streams, through streams, sitting in the streams with our feet dangling in. We'd be picking berries. I can't even remember the names of the fruit. And then you'd get to places where it would open up and you'd have these unbelievable vistas of the Pacific Ocean. And it was so gentle and so quiet. And I just remember those times, and there's no need. You have no need for anything. It's absolute peace and freedom and joy. And then the little animals will come out to visit now and then, even the fish in the streams. I remember it all. And I continue to see this planet with more of that running through it, instead of civilization being something that flattens all the trees and covers everything in concrete. It's going to be different. There's going to be more trees. There's going to be less impermeable material covering the ground. When the ground needs to be covered for cars to go by, there are such technologies, there are things that will let the rainwater actually pass through it, and you still have a very, very good roadway. It doesn't deter the quality of the roadway or of whatever it is you're trying to do. Even the running of water is important. As I mentioned, the creeks where I work in Montecito, there's many creek beds that basically for the last 10 years have been dry. Maybe if we have a short rainy season, it may have water for a moment and then it's gone, but it's different this year. There's still running water. And there's one particular place I drive by, and I cannot tell you, it's more than joy it brings me. It is, I don't know if I have a word for it, but I drive over this little bridge and I see water running down this creek, and I know everything is as it should be. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because I see this, the importance of this allowing of nature to be, no matter what we create as humans to live in or work in buildings. Oh, I just saw that's changed, actually. The huge infrastructure in terms of, for example, this is funny, retail stores used to be huge, mega stores, huge floors and floors and floors. The way our world has changed, we don't need such things anymore. Things can be smaller. Things can have more space between them. There can be trees, there can be streams running through things, areas. There can be designated blocks that are just simply park areas. I've spoken before about our little town of Solvang, just north of here. It's got these two beautiful blocks of park where the city of Solvang actually said to the developer, if you want to put a development of homes in here, you have to leave us 2 blocks and make them parks for the public. And they did, and it's beautiful. And I just see more of this everywhere. And people come from far and wide to stay at where I work in Montecito, this beautiful 5-star hotel. And my amazing job is to be the house car driver where I drive people to restaurants to dinner now and then. There's one in particular, it's on a property that's just at the base of the mountain, short distance from the hotel, but you feel like you've entered a whole nother world from the beach to the base of the mountain. It's only a 7-minute drive. But it doesn't matter how many times I drive this road, it brings me so much joy with the trees. It's really nature. There's so many trees and life. And the town of Montecito itself has an actually extraordinary amount of groundwater. When I used to live there, we actually lived on well water. And there will be more and more water naturally available. There's been some funny business going on for way too long. The more there's water, the more there's life. And this beautiful blue planet of ours, when you see it from far away, this blue jewel is the water. There's so much water here. So things are beginning to come back into harmony. The harmony that was always meant to be here on planet Earth. And with that harmony in nature, wow, is it a huge support of harmony within humanity. Just to be able to, say you work in a place all day and you're sitting in an office, you may not even have windows. Just to be able to take a break or your lunch break and to just go sit by a stream under a tree, even if it's just for a few moments. This is where we're going. As a mockingbird begins to sing. So there's a lot coming. I grew up with a father who was an architect and a sculptor. So I grew up with looking at beautiful homes. It wasn't about building offices, it was homes. That's all I thought it was for a moment until I went to school, went to Berkeley, and you go out to work in the real world of San Francisco at the time. And everything that was being constructed in this particular firm I was working at was huge commercial buildings, stories and stories and stories, big hospitals, and I said, well, what happened to the houses? I grew up with Bernard Maybeck and Julia Morgan architects and their designs. We have many of their homes in Berkeley where I grew up. And that path, I would go in and out of that path. But there was something something was missing or something. I don't know. I didn't pursue that path as I thought I might, but it's never left me. In my years, all my years working and all the different things I've done, I've come to be more and more connected to buildings in where we live specifically. And as I was speaking about, in nature, and even though I'm not working in the field, I'm still working in the field. I'm I'm seeing things. I'm seeing how when when areas are created for more homes for people to live, I see a sitting with nature. I see, and it actually has to be throughout a year, because as the seasons change and the sun moves, the sun is different, the light is different, and all of that is now an integral part of creating homes and eventually cities. That may get a little trickier, but I think it's going to happen. And you even get to sit with your land before there's a building on it and really get to know it. And I know we have a very large population of humans on this planet, but there have got to be spaces. There have got to be spaces between buildings, spaces for nature, spaces for humanity. And I feel this flow that's beyond anything I've spoken of so far. It's a natural flow in the world of magic and miracles. As we travel here, definitely for each of these broadcasts, it's different what happens for these broadcasts that we each do. But there's this flow of the magic. It's absolutely beautiful. Everyone has experienced it. And when you either experience a moment again or something triggers a memory of what happened, that you've experienced this flow before, it is phenomenal. There's nothing like it. There's usually no time or space. It's peaceful, and yet it's also exciting at the same time, which is sometimes kind of hard for the brain to register. And it can come in at any time, in any place, in any situation. So when we consciously, repeatedly step into the world of magic and miracles, eventually we will simply live there. But I love how David, in his broadcast this past Monday, specifically talked about what it can be like to be human in this physical form, and then to be in pure spirit, constantly smiling and laughing, and lots of mischief, like this mockingbird outside. It's a fascinating experience to experience it all. Like even the technical difficulties here before the broadcast. it can get disturbing. You get annoyed. Why isn't this working? As I said, it's a fascinating experience to be physical and in spirit. And you're actually both. It's just how we, what do I see? I see he also spoke about humor, but I'm looking at another way. If any of us at any moment feel pulled or dragged in to the challenges sometimes of this physical place, if you just instantly go to the clouds, and as you would do, I see even a child as you spread your arms and you just simply fall back and you land in this oh so soft cloud, and it catches you and it supports you. That's how easy it is. Any moment. So have fun with this, because it's really all about play. Have fun, enjoy your life. So now and then there may be a hiccup here and there, or you may get sucked into something that you don't want to be drawn into. But there are so many ways to immediately connect with your spirit, and the joy and the laughter and the music will come from nowhere. Your own music, and you'll just start dancing, and you won't care what anyone thinks, because you are in so much joy, and it's actually infectious. That's the only kind of infectiousness that's going to exist here, is joy. As one experiences joy and laughter and fun, it's irresistible, and everyone gets drawn in. So on that magical note, I am sending you, this entire planet, this entire universe, and all universes beyond, and of course, our Creator, the most magic life, perfect health, an absolutely brilliantly magic future. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am Genya.